it's time. Gotta get it, gotta get it. I'm thinking it's time. Gotta get it, gotta get it.
Next year, Amrod turns 20. A few months after people thought the world would end, remember Y2K? 3 naive 24-year-olds decided to import a container of desk products. This was 1 April, the year 2000. Our competitors thought we were an April Fool's joke. And some of you even bought these ugly products that we had in that container. By show of hands, how many of you were in the business of promotional products in the year 2000? Well, I know this company was. Elaine and Johnny Friedman from Number One Corporate, who are still great clients today, were our first ever clients. May I ask the two of you to come and get a small little gift from us? Your company name is actually very apt, if you think about it. I'd like to acknowledge you officially as Amrod's first ever client. You gave us a chance when most laughed at us. Hello.
I'm thinking it's time.
So what I was going to say was, you gave us a chance when most laughed at us, and so what better place to thank you than in front of 2,000 of your peers. Honestly, we really shouldn't be standing here today. Our competitors back then ought to have crushed us. We got lucky. We had a small range to offer, and much of our collection was in fact purchased from our competitors. So how did we survive? Well, these 4 items really launched Amrod. Remember the bubble clock? The Fleximan? The bomb pen? And the rotational clock. Some of you, I think a lot of you, seem to remember them. We sold loads of them, and we were then able to build on the success of those products. We took some chances, some risks, when much of what was on offer at the time was drab and conservative. We introduced color and innovative products. And the market was clearly screaming for that. Today, this industry is very different to the one we entered back then. Sure, there were fewer distributors and many more suppliers. Competition amongst suppliers was greater, and amongst distributors, less than now. Yet the industry was a fraction of the current size back then. Technology has changed everything. Most of this audience won't remember having to call us to check stock of an item. You won't remember having to fax us an order. Yes, fax. Lots of you youngsters here are probably saying, what's a fax? We didn't even have an Amrod email address, email domain. It wasn't until 2004 when we thought to ourselves, what are we doing? Why are we competing with our clients? I'm holding copies of our last ever set of dual price lists from 2004. One for distributors, one for end users. The move to becoming a trade-only supplier was probably our greatest ever big decision. And furthermore, sticking to that policy, strictly from that year on, has enabled us to garner the sort of trust we hoped for from our clients. These days, such concerns are moot when it comes to Amrod. Many of our clients are well aware that the stock you're supplying may be from Amrod. But back then, you wouldn't dare tell them that. We will explore this further in the panel discussion a little later. Today, we're very fortunate to have 2 expert speakers with us. Tim Andrews, the CEO of the ASI, America's Promotional Products Industry Association, is going to share some of his insights into the future of our industry. He will be discussing some interesting trends and case studies and sharing lots of industry statistics that they have gathered. Thereafter, Mark Stopforth, ex-CEO of Cerebra, will discuss the importance of social media for your business and how to get the best value out of it. Hopefully, this will leave you with an overwhelming sense of excitement about what the future holds for your business. Then Gabby will focus on discussing our long-term strategy with regards to the Altitude brand, and together with me, we will share with you some of the new products launching today prior to you receiving our new catalogs on your way out. Remember that at the end of the day, there is a car to be won, so you'd be crazy to leave early. Today's event is the first of its kind in this industry in South Africa, and I'm confident that you will come out of it enriched. Finally, a little later in the day, Amrod and I will join Tim on a panel moderated by Gabby to discuss some important questions that regularly come up about the industry. We encourage you to email your questions to the address you see on the screen, and we hope to be able to touch on them during the panel discussion. Technology has changed everything. It's made our industry more competitive, but also more transparent. The convenience and the cost-saving advantages it has enabled has, in my view, transformed this industry from a staid, backward, and amateurish industry into one that is professional, capable, and world-class. Amrod has pushed the technology envelope hard from the early days. Live Stock Check was one of the first big initiatives that have been a hit. There are over 250,000 stock checks conducted daily on our site. Imagine the number of phone calls and the amount of frustration eliminated by this simple idea. The fact is that you guys are embracing technology more and adopting it more quickly than we anticipated. Upwards of 70% of you are now placing your orders online with us, and by 2021, we anticipate that you all will. 9 out of 10 of our customers are approving their artwork online, and about a quarter of you are completing your job cards online. And many of you are already using our integrated delivery service. The past 2 decades have seen tremendous advances in technology in our industry, but rest assured that in 20 years' time, the way you're transacting now won't be the way you'll be transacting then. In fact, at the pace of technology innovation, things will change drastically in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's what we all have to prepare for, a digital world. Later on in the panel discussion, Amrod will share some insights into the digital projects our software developers are working on that will be extremely useful to our customers. Over the past 5 years, a regular comment from you guys has been that the industry is too competitive. There are no barriers to entry, and therefore margins are declining. It's true that when we first entered the industry, there may have been not more than 1,000 distributors, possibly far less than that. There are now over 6,000 distributors, and maybe as many as 10,000. That said, whilst we don't have an ASI equivalent, there are only roughly 2,000 distributors who are specialist promotional products distributors. Distributors whose clients rely on them for expert advice, not solely as resellers of promotional products. There are those who have embraced technology and formed extremely successful online companies. Those who have built strong warehouse capabilities for their client stock programs. And there are still many traditional distributors who are professional and forward-thinking, partnering closely with their chosen suppliers to offer the best solution possible. Competition is healthy. It ensures that we never rest on our laurels. And so it's been fascinating watching so many new and mature distributors build successful companies on the back of expert service and technology rather than simply on price. Tim will show you how the promotional products industry in the US has grown off over the last 20 years. Industry growth has exceeded general growth in the economy, as well as that of traditional advertising mediums. Many of the statistics will apply to Africa too, and I think you'll find them fascinating. You know what this number signifies? It's the number of in-house brandings we did last year, over 45 million. In 2006, Craig, Amrod, and I were chatting about how to grow Amrod. At that stage, we had this small catalog on offer, together with this large weekly special import catalog. Remember it? No clothing or caps, no in-house branding, no livestock check, no branches, no online ordering, no complexity. Running Amrod was relatively simple, but we held no competitive advantage in the industry. As a result, we felt uneasy about our future. And so we undertook what in hindsight is probably our second best ever decision, to introduce in-house branding. And boy, has it added complexity, but also an important competitive edge. What's that, you may ask? This is our percentage of misprints in 2018. 1.8% seems like a pretty small percentage. And in fact, it's actually better than the industry norm of about 2%. But it means that we have misprinted lots of your orders. That's an area of frustration for you guys and a huge area of focus for us. Remember the days when you would collect your order from your supplier unbranded and deliver it to an independent branding house and collect it a week later, branded? We're living in an on-demand world now. Who can wait a week for an order? Who even prepares a week in advance? Your clients now expect a 48-hour turnaround, and in many cases, even less. This is the challenge we face, marrying these expectations with a need for quality branded merchandise. It's a challenge we're working hard on improving. If you think about the branding categories on offer in 2007, when we first launched in-house branding, versus today's offering, the technological advances around digital printing have enabled so many new processes that we could not have anticipated back then. It's another reason that this industry's future is so exciting. This year, we will be spending 30 million rand on new machinery. We're all in when it comes to in-house branding, and I promise you exciting new future branding options, branding quality improvements, and even better lead times going forward. With growth comes complexity and the need to professionalize. Post the integration with Wizard, Amrod employs over 1,300 people. We now have a large marketing department who are responsible for the 1,000 pages of catalogs you will be receiving later. We have a separate product development department for both for clothing and for gifting, who are responsible for developing the products you'll see in the catalogs later. We have a team of 6 based in Hong Kong, responsible for negotiating prices with suppliers so that we can bring you the most competitive prices possible. We have a quality control team, ensuring that nothing is available for sale without having passed international and local quality control checks. We have a shipping and logistics team, monitoring the dozens of shipments at sea at any one time, regularly updating the incoming dates of shipments, since this information is available to you 24/7. Behind the scenes, the ability to offer 3,000 different products, and more than 30,000 if you consider colors and sizes, requires a sizable workforce and skilled leadership. We're very proud of our Amrod team. Thank you. Today is about altitude, but come June, we will release a new Amrod gifting catalog at Markex. We are currently in the final stages of product selection for this catalog, and I can assure you that it will be our best ever catalog, with some of the most exciting products I remember us ever launching. The merged product development teams from Amrod and Wizard have really worked wonders. We will be completely rejuvenating the Kushti brand, the Swiss Cougar brand, adding significantly to the highly successful Andy Cartwright brand. And lastly, we'll be replacing our Balmain brand with a tremendous new collection I can't tell you about now yet. I can't wait for June. So my hope is that you leave us today enriched by the content, excited about the new products, and rejuvenated by the future direction of this industry. I'd like to thank you all for attending today, and a special thanks to those who traveled from far, including clients from outside South Africa. Enjoy the afternoon. Trust me, it will be fascinating. Thank you.